It's go time.
The boys are back. That's right, Florida Man Sports is here with another exciting episode. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. This is Florida Man Sports.
Ladies and gents,
Yes, sir.
Florida Man Football, ESPN Draft. Let's go.
Why, don't plug ESPN.
Should I not plug you?
Let's plug ESPN. They
Get
ain't
them
paying
paid?
us there. Now, this, Chris, is where officially the football season begins for me. Because
Let's
I know you
go.
were like, oh, I'm upset with me the fact that I wasn't so hyped about preseason. I don't give a damn about preseason. Yes, you see a couple little things, but when you start your draft, when things start happening in fantasy football, that's when you're going to get excited. That's when football season begins officially for me.
So let me ask you this question. And by the way, before we get started, we are streaming on all major platforms. So if always, please do like, share, and subscribe. Johnny Cinco, we are doing our ESPN Draft episode live. That's what you're excited.
Yes,
What we've been promising that we're going to bring. What is this timer about? Is when this goes off, is a bomb? I mean, what happens?
What we wanted to do for you guys is actually just do a live draft to show you kind of like our strategy behind, the method to our madness and what we think you guys should do. Now, we're going to talk to you a little bit about who the top guys are at each position, who you think there.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll discuss a couple of guys to avoid. We'll get to all that. But in the midst of that, we want to show you guys a live draft.
and what it's going to look like, 100%.
So you're seeing right there, the screen share showing exactly what's happening. So 10 minutes it is right there.
Let me give you a little lowdown on this, and I'm very excited about this, Johnny Cinco. Number one, it's a 12-man league. I know you may have a 10 league or more, but it's 12. It's in the middle. It's an expert league snake draft. So at the end of the day, the pieces are going to fall where they're going to fall. You're going to get the comments from Florida Man Sports, Florida Man Football, from the Florida Man perspective. And Johnny, one thing that I just noticed, we went with the 8th position, which is not the best, not the worst. Excuse me, let me take that back. Not the best on the top, not the best on the bottom, somewhere in the middle. And I'm not too happy about it, but we're going to have to make do. So
I think most people who are in a competitive league have at least 12 teams. If you have a 10-man league, it's not very competitive. It's just how it is. So 12-man league.
That's a good point.
The worst position, in my opinion, you correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, to be in is 7, 8, 9. If you're able to get the 1, 2, 3 spot or even the 10, 11, 12 spot, you're still in a good spot in a traditional snake draft. But being in that 8th spot right there, that's no man's land. It's going to be difficult because ideally the strategy we want you guys to take is, who do you want to draft, Chris? You ideally want running back if you can do it first round, second round. If things work out a little differently depending on how, if in that spot we have there you see that running backs are going very, very quickly. All the top guys are gone. You may consider going on running back, wide receiver.
You may want to adjust,
So those are adjustments to be made. One thing we don't recommend for you guys to do is to go ahead and pick up a quarterback too early. Listen, outside of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, those are the two studs that really are in the fantasy world where it's going to it'd be a tremendous impact. There's other. I'm not saying there's not bad other quarterbacks that aren't as good, but it's this tremendous value later on. You don't need to go ahead and waste a first, second round pick on a quarterback.
So let's talk about that Florida Man football consensus. Okay, number one, to make sure that we're both on the same page, and what you guys are going to see in the next 8 minutes is you're going to see with the 8th seed in the draft the consensus pick from Florida Man Football. So we're going to give you the highlights that you're looking for as to who to pick, and to Johnny's point here. Depending on what happens, if wide receivers go first or running backs will adjust, we'll pivot, right?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I think that we both agree on two things. And that's number one, for me, it's running back, because in this year, Johnny, and I think it showed it a little bit last year, the wide receiver position in fantasy football, there's so much low fruit for you to grab that I'm going to ask you to go running back first if you can. And then to your point on the other part, Johnny, yes, 100% the quarterback position, I feel, and we're going to go through this together, so we're going to go back and forth. But if you can wait till the 10th round, we'll see how this draft goes. Wait. I get it. You got the Burrows of the world. We're going to go over those top 3. I understand Lamar Jackson. I get all that. But at the end of the day, Johnny, I think for this season, it's all about depth for me. It's all about building your running back, wide receivers, being stacked, being prepared for injuries. And there's a lot of value at the quarterback position and the tight end position why I would wait for later rounds, I think.
Yes, there's premier names, premier pieces that ideally you want. But don't worry, there's that one or two guys in your league that are going to blow up your draft. So you can sit here and have a strategy. You can sit here and try to figure it out.
Which is why we got to pivot.
There's a Quinn in every draft that's going to go ahead and pick up. There's another Chris that'll go back-to-back quarterback. They'll pick up two defenses back-to-back.
There's a Christian that's going to bring the whole mob with you there and then tell you about the value picks that you didn't know about, and they're going to be wrong.
Yeah, there's always going to be a guy
that's going to mess up the draft. Then you're going to get some guy that picks up a kicker in the 5th round.
Why are you pointing at me?
Things happen.
Okay, so
People don't forget.
At the end of the day, you have a strategy in place. You know, we talked to you a little bit. Obviously, you want to go running back heavy. Wide receiver is perfectly fine. There's so much more depth from the wide receiver position. Same thing with the quarterback position. Now, there's not as much depth. There is depth in the tight end position. There's some key names that we're going to talk about there. Yeah. But before we get into everything else here, let's start with the obvious. We got 6.5 minutes roughly before our draft here. Chris, our top three running backs here right now. No, I'm asking you, like, who are our top guys?
Well, we did talk about this before. We do have a consensus top 3 running backs, right?
Yeah, at the end of the day.
So go ahead, and I'll give you the feedback.
Top 3 running backs here start with Robinson, Gibbs, and Barkley. Obviously, we have set them in place. Robinson, Gibbs, Barkley. Those are our top 3 guys here. Now, coming to Robinson, tons of action in the passing game right now. Now, obviously, Penix taking over there in Atlanta. Those guys and how everything's set up there with the offensive coordinator, with your boy that's coaching the
Morris.
Morris, thank you for the former Buccaneers head coach. That passing game, the running game, Robinson is your clear number 1 back in the league, in fantasy league right now.
Completely agree with you.
Similar to Robinson.
If I can add on Robinson real quick, too, when you look at the facts that he's his age, where he is right now as a running back position, you're 100% right. They're going to depend on him more, I believe, to give Penix an opportunity. So you can only assume that this guy, as long as he continues to stay healthy, is going to have it. With Gibbs, we have a number 2 there. Look, at the end of the day with Gibbs, guys, if you've seen from 1 year to next year, he's taken more of a role of RB1. And again, another guy who's consistent, who's healthy, and you expect the Lions to do good this year, right?
Yeah, same thing with Barkley. Barkley's still behind essentially one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines in football. So I get it. People are not expecting him to repeat a 2,000-yard season, but
that's what we have him at number 3. Guys, that's what we have at number 3.
He's still absolute beast here. Now, guys that I want you guys to avoid for me, I don't know if you got some guys, Chris, avoid Cook this year, Buffalo Bills running back. Now, I'm telling you, avoid him early. At the end of the day, his last season was an outlier. The guy was amazing last year. Of course, 16 touchdowns last year. The previous 2 years combined, he had 4 touchdowns, guys. So 4 touchdowns the previous 2 years, blew up last year. It's an outlier. I don't expect that type of year. Obviously, I'm not telling you not to draft him, but don't go ahead and waste, in my opinion, go ahead and picking up Cook from the Buffalo Bills with any of your top 2 or 3 picks. Just wait. Value pick after the 5th round if you're still available. Go ahead, but those are the type of backs that I don't think are going to have repeat that same issue. You have anybody?
Yeah. Well, before we pivot to the wide receivers and then we'll start the draft with 4 minutes to go, Johnny. I'm going to say avoid any running back that's in Cincinnati because at the end of the day, it's my humble opinion. Okay. Yeah, it's my humble opinion. I've seen Brown being drafted in the 1st and 2nd round. Avoid him, and here's why. Cincinnati may have a great season. They may not. But one thing is for sure. It's the wide receivers and the quarterback for me. And so for me, I'm like, if he's available in the 4th round, which he won't be, then at that point, yes, grab him. But because he's going so high, Johnny, for me, it's any Cincinnati running back. Name the last, and even with Mixon, because Mixon was hurt, if you remember, a couple years ago, right? There's never been a top 3 running back. So why is he being drafted in the 1st round? So for me, Cincinnati running backs.
I get it. I think a better option are the 2 guys that we offered here. For me, I'm telling you this year, Bucky Irvin is going to have a good year. Bucky Irvin had 14 points a game last year, and he had to share with White a lot more. He's going to be the clear number 1. Yes, I know, Chris, you think he's still going to go ahead. White's still going to get his touches. These guys are going to get their touches.
I do. I just want to see. I want to see Bucky stay healthy. I'm not saying that you're wrong, Johnny.
I get it.
If he's available in the right round, we're going to draft him. So I just hope he stays healthy.
Bucky I think is going to be a better option than the 2 guys we mentioned here, Chris.
Let's do wide receivers before we
I got 3 minutes there, Chris. Yeah. The top wide receivers we have obviously picked up for you. Everybody knows Chase is the number 1. We are aware of this. It's a high potent offense. It's going to be a ridiculous offense in Cincinnati there.
100%.
Now, CD Lamb. Now, I hate them boys, but let's be very clear. That offense is not going to be a joke this season here. That offense.
You can only hope that Pickens helps spread it out more, which will in turn help Lamb.
It's concerning because they're losing Kellen Moore, but it doesn't matter. CD Lamb still produces under any offensive coordinator, so you can't go wrong with CD Lamb. And third, of course, Justin Jefferson. Now, there's a little bit of an issue with the injuries. There's a little bit. He's going to be ready when it counts. J.J. McCarthy's looking so freaking good in his true rookie year. Got injured there. This is going to work out.
For me, too, with Jefferson, Johnny, it's also, you got to keep in mind, folks, Florida Man Sports, Florida Man Football, streaming on all platforms. It's also the fact that last year Jefferson had a different quarterback and he still excelled, which proves to me that with McCarthy, he should have that type of elite success so you can be patient and calm as long as he stays healthy. Hopefully that hamstring heals.
2 minutes before we start this draft here. Any running backs you should avoid early?
Wide receivers wide receivers to avoid early. It's just where they're being drafted. I would just pick a team right now, and I'll pick 2 teams I'll give you. Stay away from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Metcalf is a very sexy pick right now.
I have exactly Metcalf.
It's a very sexy pick. I will draft him, but after the 3rd round. So I'm going to say it again. Unless the draft goes horribly wrong, I do have him on. I think he'll have a good year just after that.
I think for us, guys, we're talking about when we're referencing here to avoid. It's avoiding early.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you can go ahead and take a flyer on somebody later on, but traditionally, DK, this is last year was the first time that he finished like outside the top 14 wide receivers. So DK with Arthur Smith I don't know how he has a job. Arthur Smith is a terrible offensive coordinator. He's running the worst offense. The reason Pittsburgh got to where they were last year, because they have a great head coach, but the offensive coordinator is a freaking joke. So yes, DK, avoid. Debo Samuels is one Big Mac shy of a lineman. Debo in the Commanders.
I gotta disagree with you, Johnny. I know we got less than a minute to go, but if he's low enough,
I'm not. But what we're talking about, like I just mentioned here, I'm glad my co-host is listening.
The reason why I'm saying
well.
that, the reason why I'm saying that is because how we've done mock drafts, and I have found value in Debo, so I have drafted him. But you're right, later on.
What I'm referencing now, these are guys that I've been seeing going in the 1st or 2nd round. I'm like, what?
It's terrible.
Like, what are you doing here? No. And third one, of course, is Hopkins. Hopkins, even though Hopkins is done. Hopkins is the guy. It's kind of like
You're
Robert.
seeing Hopkins being drafted?
Yeah, not drafting early, but too early.
Too early.
Hopkins is going right now 5th and 6th round, and you've got to be kidding me. That's a name. It's like Robert Woods when we went to the Texans. It's the farewell tour.
That's a good point.
Like Hopkins is literally, if you can get him, 10th, 11th, 12th round wide receiver. Like he's going to get you 1 or 2 games, but that's it. But we're talking here now. The draft room is open.
Yeah.
That concerns me with a couple of things. But yes, all of our picks we're referencing, guys, it's not something to avoid completely. It's just something to let's avoid those top guys. Hopkins, don't pick him up too early. He's almost at the end of it here.
100%. We still got about a minute before it actually starts. Florida Man Football, streaming on all platforms.
Oh, the draft opened.
So exactly. So look, we're on the same page. What we were saying from the beginning, if you're tuning in just now, is that at the end of the day, this is the Florida Man Football consensus of what you should be picking, who you should be drafting, where you should be looking at. And just to remind people what we've said, heavy running back to start, quarterbacks can wait, tight ends can wait, there's value at the end. We will see how this draft goes, and we'll make adjustments accordingly.
Yes, but we're still talking about wide receivers. We still have a few minutes here, guys. Better options from the guys that we've mentioned here. Like I'm going to give you a couple guys that are better options here. One, Egbuka from the Bucks. Now that we know that Godwin is going to be out for a more McMillan
injured. Than Godwin, but yes.
I don't think Godwin's going to be ready by the season.
They run a 3 wide receiver spread, and it was confirmed today that he is going to be available week 1. Not that he's going to play, but he won't be on the list. That's why it's important to know.
At the end of the day,
but I agree with you.
Godwin's not going to be 100%. McMillan's going to be out for several weeks. There's going to be some issues there. So, you know what? That's a good value pickup. You're still not picking this guy up in the 1st, 2nd round. But the spots that you can go ahead and pick up, we should be picking up. You can clearly, even later in the mid rounds, go pick up a quality wide receiver like Egbuka. Matthew Golden, I'm telling you, this is a rookie here, but I'm telling you, it's legit. Consider Matthew Golden. That's a very great value pick from the wide receiver position. Are we ready to go here, Chris?
Started. We're already picked.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we see what we got available. Now, obviously, what we want to do initially, if we can, obviously, I don't know if Gibbs are still going to be there, so we're hoping that Gibbs is available there.
At the 8th pick, yeah. I thoroughly doubt it. I thoroughly doubt it.
Sometimes you get lucky here, but Genty, one of those rookies that like in that wide receiver position, like, do you really want to waste a first round pick on Genty?
Let's see if Gibbs can be available.
But the thing that's the difficult part of drafting the position we're in. Sometimes you have to make a compromise and really tough decisions based on that. So we'll see where we're at.
And right now, as it stands, we have Gibbs available. What we said, Florida Man football, it's running back first. And
we're going to pick up Gibbs because this draft room's a bunch of morons.
With the 8th pick. Let's go.
So we got very lucky by picking up Gibbs with the 8th pick because I'm telling you, there's no way most setups Gibbs is going to be available to you, but we got lucky that we did.
And you know what? And something maybe for the future that we probably should have done is go through the cues of who we liked, and then maybe that would have, kind of put things a little bit more perspective. But as we go through the picks, we'll go ahead and announce them. I wonder if we could find the list of who's been drafted. You know how this is here? It would show you here.
Well, it just shows you on the left side here, but you can move the cursor over there, the guys that we picked in our team here. Now, there's setups a way to figure out who got drafted totally, but let's not go ahead and
that's fine,
confuse anything else on here.
On this side, you see what I mean?
Now, there's premier wide receivers available. Nico Collins, I see in the top very high on. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have a tremendous season with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So now the question is, to your point, Johnny Cinco, right now, let's actually look real quick instead of looking at all positions.
Okay.
Because we're about to come up. Let's look at running backs that are available. Taylor, Jacobs, Henry, Irving, Bucky Irving's there. We got to remember that. And we're going to go running back heavy. Wide receivers, you got Brown, Thomas Jr., Higgins, Hill still available.
Are we on right now?
There's a lot of depth. Not yet. Right now we have one pick to go.
Okay.
I'm saying that we go running back.
I want to see go to the running back position who we have here.
Bucky's still available.
We have Taylor, Jacobs, Henry, and for me, like I'm telling you, at the end of the day, I see what's here. Josh Jacobs had a good year. Jonathan Taylor, that Colts offense is too inconsistent for me to jump on there. So from the guys we have here, the only guys I'm considering are Williams and Irving. Between those two, it got to be Bucky.
Bucky it is. Consensus pick. There we go. Now, let's pivot to wide receiver just to see how this thing goes because we still got a few picks to go. We still have Higgins on the board. I think Hill's going to have a very good year this year, Johnny Cinco. I think Adams is going to surprise a lot of people at his age. There's a lot of depth. Mike Evans, especially with McMillan being hurt, he's still chasing that 1,000 yards. So there's a lot of depth at wide receiver in the 3rd round. Don't disregard it, folks. So I'm glad we've got 2 good running backs so far.
So we see what's in place here. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and comment too much until we get closer to where we need a pick here. And the guys you reference, I understand, definitely. If these guys here, the way it sets up here, I really like McConkey. McConkey's obviously with this particular, he's going to be the number 1 for the Chargers this year.
The only thing I don't like about the Chargers, Johnny, and we have to make a pick here together, is the fact
it doesn't matter because he's gone. He's gone.
Well, they ran the ball so much last year. I didn't really like it. I love the fact that Tyreek Hill's still there. I feel like he's going to have a really good year this year.
If Tyreek Hill is available to us in the third round,
I know.
Let's see.
One more pick. There's 2 more picks. Excuse me.
Let's see. I don't think he will. I understand people get scared to see the questionable. He was scared because he's
being the 8th round pick right now. I feel like we're doing really well.
Right now it's really well. Okay,
and
so
he's available.
So
no, he's not.
Let me see. Let's look at our running backs again real quick. We got 20.
Need to go wide receiver. I think.
I know. I agree. I just want to see. You always want to see what's available here. So you see what's in place. I really like Kenneth Walker. What he's going to do with Chuba Hubbard. And honestly,
I don't think he's going to last.
And see, this is a situation you have to change it up here. I think we go with Chuba. I think at the end of the day,
we're going through running backs. Listen, I'm for it. And listen to the madness. I'm for it because in all my drafts, Johnny, I've gone three running backs. Just bear with us. That's time to go.
There's so much more value in the wide receiver position. Yeah. So I get it. There was some good names in the wide receiver position.
And I know they're probably going to be gone, but here's the part where I was saying now in the rounds. Now we're going to round 4, right? So now Metcalf, if he's available, he's a value pick in the 4th round. He's going to be primary wide receiver 1.
Correct.
I don't think Mike Evans is going to be there. I hope that he is. Marvin Harrison, he's looking to bounce back. I'm predicting as long as he's healthy, that the Cardinals are healthy, they're going to have a good year. So there's still a lot of wide receiver room here, folks.
And what we're not considering, guys, not even in our thought process, is a quarterback. It's just I understand that there's we mentioned 2, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson are like 100%. Super names. Joe Burrow's a great name. I understand all that, but relax. There's what do we want from a quarterback, Chris? At the end of the day, when you start thinking about it, for me anyway, and I think you'll agree with me, when you draft a quarterback, ideally what you want, guys, is you're locking in 20 points a game.
I agree. I agree.
You know how pissed off you are.
Consistency.
When your
for.
quarterback drops 12, drops 14, you're supposed no 20. You're good. Now they give you a 30 burger. They give you that maybe once in a blue 40 burger. You're like high fiving, but you're okay. You're okay with your quarterback. You're locking in 20 points with that quarterback. If you can't consistently get 20 points from your quarterback, it just pisses you off here. Now we got a few.
I want to remind we're going to be up next. Again, we're the 8th. We're one of the hardest positions possible. We went 3 running backs, 3 bona fide starters, and guess what, folks? Right now, and this is the hard version of this draft, we still have Evans, Harrison, Worthy, Metcalf
this is
available.
Difficult. Now this is difficult, Chris.
15 seconds. Where are we going with?
Now we're looking at, for me, Evans, Harrison, Metcalf.
Yep.
Those are the guys. Between those 3, now I'm loving me some like Evans. I got to go Metcalf because he's the number 1 option. A young guy, he's coming in there. I would say Metcalf and those set up
I'm
there.
gonna agree with you because we're in the consensus. But the reason why I would have gone Evans there is because especially some of these people that don't know any better, they're going only by projection. So Evans will be off the board versus maybe we could have doubled down. But I'm with you. We still got a while to go. Let's see what happens.
The only reasons now,
I'm not knocking. I'm with you.
I'm explaining.
Yeah.
Evans is consistent, future Hall of Famer, a beast.
He's gonna try to battle for 1,000 yards to break the record this year.
You get scared over the age and older wide receiver. I know with Tampa set up there now. Metcalf just got traded. So without a shadow of a doubt, he's the number 1. He's the only guy. Even they got rid of Pickens. He's the only guy there. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be slinging him the ball.
We're going to be coming up now again. We're going to have to dig deep here, Johnny Cinco.
Now, let's take a look at a couple things that I really like from the list I see here. Calvin Ridley, Jalen Wallen, Devontae Smith. Now, I don't know if those guys are going to be available. Take a look at our tight end position for me.
We need a wide receiver, too.
100%.
And right now, hold on. Before we go up, I'm looking at Waddle.
Waddle
right
agree.
now. Ridley will be the wide receiver 1 confirmed in Tennessee. I don't know how good.
I'm just curious if Brock Bowers has been taken.
Oh, a long time ago. He was drafted a long time ago.
Okay, so you still have we'll get to the top tight ends in place here. I see it in the place. Okay, I just wanted to see it there.
Yeah, because there's like 2 or 3, but now it's time for wide receiver here.
Okay, so here we are. So in the day here, it's our turn, right? We're up.
Yeah, or Rome O'Dunes. I think that the offensive line, they're going to have a better season this year, and I think that Rome's going to take it as well. But I would take Waddle.
I like Waddle in that pick here. A lot of people are really high on Calvin Ridley. And for me, I don't think Cam Ward's going to have the year some people think he's going to have. I don't think he is. He's not looking great in practice.
He is a wide receiver 1. At this point in the draft, he would be a value pick, so I'm okay with it. But to your point, between Ridley and Waddle, I would be taking Waddle too, so we're on the same page. I am hoping that you agree with me on O'Dunes. I'm hoping that he's available because that would be a great – I feel like this kid – can have a breakout season for Chicago if the offensive line holds. I love what I've seen in preseason from Caleb Williams. So if he is available right now, Johnny Cinco, it's going to be a steal. He's still there. Chris Godwin's still there, but I still take O'Dunes. Please be there. I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think we're going to make it.
You're talking about Odunze?
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to be Odunze. So, like, at the end of the day, I get what you're saying. I think that if you really like, I think that offensively, the Chicago Bears are going to improve tremendously. I think at the end of the day, the Detroit Lions coach going over there is going to improve everything for Caleb Williams. Going to improve the tight ends, the receiver position, everything that you saw in Detroit. There's a reason for that. It's going to go ahead and improve to Chicago. So I'm high on a couple of guys here, especially with Chicago in general. Odunze being one. Caleb Williams is going to have a better. I mean, he's going to have a better. I know you were dogging him last year, but he's going to have a better year this year.
I think that this year he will. And I stand by what I did last year. I think he is.
We're coming up here, so we're still looking again for wide receiver position here.
He's available. He's available, and so is Godwin. So is Pittman Jr.
I like Smith. I like Odunze. Godwin's going to be out for a little while later. I hate Olave. So between what we got here, I would think you're right with Odunze.
Listen, let me just give you one of these because I was hoping that we got to this point. And I want to remind you, we still haven't picked a quarterback. We don't even care who's drafted a quarterback because, like I keep telling you, and Johnny was 100% correct, as long as you're getting an average 20 points from your quarterback, he's going to have good games, right? He's going to have games where he gives you 30 points. You got to remember, it's a long season. You have injuries. You have people that are in bye week. So this right now is a depth at running back and wide receiver. I know you can't play them all at one time. That's not the point. The point is, you're playing preventive defense, letting other people not have those players, and having good depth throughout the season.
Yes.
A lot of people like to depend on like, oh well, if you lose a game, then you're number one on the free agent market. Stop it. Just have a great team and hope that they stay healthy.
Some people are obsessed with the quarterback position, and I get it. And our top 3 quarterbacks that we have here are Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. It's no surprise those are the top guys there. So, but still, there's value, so much value everywhere else. And if you're able to get those at a value pick, go for it. But between those 3 guys here, you can't lose with those guys here. Go for it. But quarterbacks I recommend personally to avoid early is for me is Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes here, we want to tell you want to lock in those 20 points. 20 points is what you want. The last 2 years, he has had 4 games, at least 4 games every season to where it's 20 points, under 20 points there. So Pat Mahomes is falling off. I don't agree with you. Avoid him as much as possible.
We're up again, one more wide receiver before we look at other positions.
Let me just take a look at our tight ends, see who's available, see what's going on in the draft board here. So if I didn't think Laporta would be available. If Laporta was available, I have to seriously consider him. So he's not.
I'll look at Tucker Kraft. 10 seconds.
Let's go ahead into the back to wide receivers.
5 seconds.
All right, yeah, let's get there quick. This goes quick here. Now set up on here. I like Matthew's going to Matthew Golding. I'm really high on.
You're out of time. I have to draft Michael Pittman.
Yeah, I'm fine with Michael Pittman on that.
At this late in the draft, Daniel Jones is the new quarterback. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
I think if we had, because we're doing this show, we're trying to figure it out here. Ideally, for me in that position, and I'm looking at it again, I would have went with Stephon Diggs.
If we do this, because we do this again, we do another episode, we may have to do the Q list at a time. Because I would have picked them over.
Yeah, probably. All right,
so now we're set up running back and wide receiver. We definitely got to look at.
Probably a good idea. We should have planned this a little bit.
But now you see the flow, right? But now we're looking at tight end. So we're not. We have to look at tight end, and then I recommend
our top tight ends is obviously we know Bowers, Laporta, McBride are our top tight ends. Right. We have set up in place. It's easy to go ahead and explain to you why. 16 points a game for McBride. Laporta 14 points a game as a rookie. His numbers went down a little bit even before, and Bowers was the best tight end in the league here last year. But guys to avoid, guys. Andrews, just forget it. He's just a name. Likely he's taking over for him here. It's just not really exactly the same guy.
He'll have success. He's trade bait. He'll have a good first couple weeks while likely gets back. He's not expected until week 3, week 4. But you get him if you get him low.
For your secondary guy, no problem here. But from what I'm looking at, guys that I'm high on, I am high on Tyler Warren, the rookie coming out there.
I agree with Warren.
Loveland out of Chicago, guys. Remember, the same coach that was with Chicago is what made Laporta who he is here. I can easily see Loveland being the next Laporta under the same offense that was in Detroit there. They're going to utilize Caleb Williams. When you struggle, when a quarterback struggles, you lean on your tight end. Loveland out of Michigan was a
almost
beast.
Any rookie quarterback, I expect that they have a good coach to want to have the tight end, at least the flex option.
But I really enjoy Jake Ferguson was number 1 in targets for last year for tight ends.
Are you leaning on?
He just fell off here. So for me on here, I'm going to go in Jake Ferguson, but he can wait on it. Let's move to another position. We can wait.
We can't wait.
Another position. Go to another position. Go wide receiver. Flex. We can go. We got this here. So it's up Stephon Diggs.
Where is it?
Right there.
Okay,
at the end of the day, there were tight ends I liked, but we could have waited.
I love that Diggs was still available at this point, so I'm okay with the pick and all that.
Yes.
From now, though, now we're 8 out of 10, so now, yeah.
The Q position is pretty good.
No. I don't suggest we go to quarterback until we get to the 10th pick.
No. I'm on tight ends. I'm fine.
Yeah.
The thing is that, like, for me, I like Warren. I like Kraft. I like Loveland.
Yeah.
I like Ferguson. So when I'm looking at what's available, I'm like, I can wait on the tight end a little bit longer. I can wait on it here.
I love that. And I agree with you that this draft in specific, because of this, is probably the reason why we're going to have to do it, because it's
probably.
Yeah.
But one thing
that's why it's allowing us.
One thing that everybody's going to question and try to figure out who is going to be the schmuck that drafts Pitts, Kyle's Pitts. Who's going to be that guy?
In most mock drafts, I haven't really seen him being drafted very high at all. If anything, I've seen some later rounds. Yeah,
Pitts was such a hype, and he's so talented. He's just in the wrong team, the wrong offense, wrong coach, and another team he could be a perennial Pro Bowler. But because for whatever reason it's just not working out, I feel bad for the kid. The kid is really good tight end. Yeah. It just doesn't work out for Falcons, and I refuse to go ahead and draft him. And he can't be my nugget. He's a fly flyer I'll throw on in the later round just to see maybe if he's going to show up. So no.
Before we've got the 8th pick right now. It's coming up, and let's go running back because that'll keep us even with
Yes.
wide receivers, and then we can look at quarterback and tight end because there's plenty. You're right. There's plenty of room, and right now we've got Bigsby and Etienne available at Jacksonville. That to me is sticking out like a sore thumb. Where are you going with it?
Well, ideally, you always want to see if you can go and handcuff your
Nice.
running back. But let's just go ahead and go with Bixby.
Okay, so we're expecting Bigsby to have the better season. Bam. We are deep at running back. We're deep at wide receiver. Let's pivot now to see what quarterbacks
Let's
and tight
start
ends are available.
considering. Yes. Now, a couple guys with quarterbacks. We went over the quarterbacks that we are top guys here. Guys that I want you to go ahead and consider. Listen, I think Drake May is going to have a good year. Drake May kind of figuring things out. He got some. Drake May was a number 14, top 12 quarterback in fantasy last year as a rookie with no offensive line, no receivers. They gave him some receivers. They revamped the offensive line. He's going to have a better year this year, and you can obviously get him as a great value pick. Jordan Love,
Yeah, he's
that
going to be a
offense is
10th round pick
outstanding.
right now if he survives.
Tua, Stafford. I'm going to let you go ahead and Trevor Lawrence, I think, is going to
second
hold
up.
with the weapons here. I'm going to let you, Chris, go ahead and pick our quarterback for us. There's a lot of guys I looked at. I really like J.J. McCarthy. I think can really it's going to go ahead. He's looking so good right now in the preseason and in practice. But that's why the value we're talking here. So there's so many different guys we can go ahead and pick up here. So I'm fine with Tua, who's obviously going to. Miami has a lot of questions, but he can still throw.
In a lot of these drafts, before we get to pick Johnny, I will tell you that in the later rounds in my mock drafts, people like Fields have been available. People like Prescott have been available. And those are two players that I have like one of those boom or busts so that they may be worth taking a flyer in the 10th round. And in this case, both have been already taken. I can't believe, guys, that Jordan Love is still available in all these drafts. I really can't. He had one bad year. The year before that, he was a top 10 quarterback. The year before that, he was a top 10 quarterback. I don't understand why. So, Johnny, with what I'm seeing here, Herbert, they're going to run the ball. Goff is very offensive proud, and McCarthy. So I would want to go with a short fit of Goff.
Yes,
What
there's more questions.
Do you want to go McCarthy or Goff? What do you
There's
want to do?
more questions on there. If you're talking to me between
3
Goff
seconds. Where
and
do you wanna
McCarthy, I'm going to go McCarthy.
Okay, so we're going McCarthy. There it is. So that's our first quarterback off the board. We are going to pick a second quarterback to have a backup here because we're coming up soon.
Only reason I went with that, and remember that Goff is getting a new offensive coordinator, and I'm never like when a quarterback gets a new offensive coordinator, it changes things up a little bit.
Okay.
I don't think Goff is going to fall off, but JJ is coming up. He's looking really good. He still has a top 3 receiver in the league. He still has Hawkinson. He still has guys that can go ahead and do some great damage. So
at this point, then I think that you'll agree with me that, and then I don't know that we'll get these people here with all the rounds that are going, but Love, Goff, and Tua are the Stafford, are the vets. So it's got to be one of those guys, I think, so that we have a little mix of the. Let's see if McCarthy goes off, but we're also covered with a veteran presence. And I still can't believe that Love is available. I still can't believe that Tua is available this late. But this is what I was saying earlier, that, guys, you can draft depth and be ready for the season to see who's available.
But just double check here with our pick right now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So and we have just a few before that, so we're
Yes.
fine. So are we going Love, Tua, or Stafford? What are you thinking?
I think everything you referenced here is correct in terms of Jordan Love still available. So I would go with Love.
There we go. And I feel comfortable having Love as at this point a backup as McCarthy number 1. I love that. I'm very comfortable with that.
Yes.
Knowing that we got Gibbs, Irving, Metcalf, Waddle, Hubbard. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
that's a hell of a team this year, in my opinion.
We got very lucky in this draft room.
Let's go tight end. No, but you know what? We can do one where it's not like that. Because I get that, but I'm telling you right now, like that's a hell of a.
The big question marks. You see the draft room here. Obviously, we talked about that. Bowers, Laporta, and McBride are our top guys here. Now, I see these guys to avoid for me. I'm looking at them right now.
It's our turn, Johnny Cinco. We got 25 seconds
God.
tight end. Yeah, before you tell me that,
Okay.
tell me the depth. We're gonna have to dig deep. I feel like Henry, to your point, the Patriots are doing well. They're gonna have a hell of a year. The fact that he's available, that's excellent for me. And at the end of the day, we're digging deeper. Strange, I'm so high on Strange this year with the new offensive coordinator going out.
I think we should go ahead and just give it a shot. Would go ahead and with. No, I get recently more. There's more of a question mark on Henry. Go where it's Strange. We're going for Strange.
Okay.
I'm high on him as well here.
It's my belief that we missed it.
We missed it there. So it's fine.
So it's my belief. I'm glad that we're okay. We're okay. It picked Henry. It's my belief though too. I'm glad that it happened that way. That Strange is still going to be available because he's lower. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So hopefully now we'll pick him up and we'll have both tight ends ready to rock.
Guys, I'm not crazy
So
about.
actually, it worked out. It worked out.
Janu Smith, I'm not crazy about. He was leaving Miami, which had a great half a season. He went over there. He's going to a terrible offensive coordinator, so I'm not crazy about Janu Smith. And he's sharing the load with Freiermuth. Freiermuth is over there, has been established in Pittsburgh, so I'm not crazy about him. I'm not crazy about Otten. Otten coming into place right now that we see here. Too many targets. Not too many targets he's receiving there. He's not going to be used consistently over there with so many wide receivers in Tampa. So I'm not crazy about Otten in that position either here. So
I like him, but I get it. That's a good point. It's a good point where he could get lost. I get that. Yeah.
So I mean, it's interesting. Other options I referenced here were Strange, like you were talking about. That's a better option here. Loveland and Ferguson. Ferguson, surprising with Dallas, was the number one targeted tight end in the red zone last year. Number one. But the last 4 weeks of the season, he ghosted everybody. So people are scared of that guy. I don't want to deal with him. But over the course of the season, Ferguson is legit out of Dallas there. And Loveland, obviously, saw everything he did in Michigan. And I think that the way what Detroit's coach did in Detroit, now he's the head coach of Chicago. He's going to do some damage. We're on the clock again?
Yeah, we're on the clock.
Now it's time to think about defense. Okay.
And look at how late it is, and there's still many options. And Johnny, I can't.
Where I'm going.
I'm going 150%. As long as you agree with me on the second defense. The first one is the Patriots, and
you got to go.
I'm not mincing words, guys. Listen, in the draft and all the mock drafts that I've done, they've been available this late. So don't be drafting earlier, please. I'm telling you. And I'm going to tell you the second one that I'm going to go after, because I'm telling you it's going to be feast or famine, and it could be your buy. They can have success week to week. You're like, you know what, I'm going to play them. So I'm hoping that they're available. Fingers crossed. This is Florida Man football. Let's see what happens. I doubt it, because this is going to probably mess us up, but let's see.
I get it. So as you've seen in here, who's available right now on the flex? Go ahead and check, see who's available.
Well, we can't, based on our draft of 14 to 16, we can't.
Oh, that's what I set up on there.
One there
so we got one more defense, one more kicker.
And then kicker, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but which is perfectly the way that it's perfect.
Fine.
When you go through running backs first, we added more wide receivers and running backs. That's what we're supposed to do.
I cannot believe we got everything. We got Gibbs, we got Bucky, we got Hubbard. Let's just. Sometimes you get lucky. You always make adjustments on the fly. And ideally, what we want you guys to do is go running back. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to adjust to running back, wide receiver. It just happened to be for us. We wanted to go wide receiver, but there was so much value still available in the running back position. We had to.
To your point, I want people to understand. For me, I think there's a lot of depth at wide receiver. There's a lot of money to be made there, where you don't have to, unless it's obviously there's if you got the 8th pick and there's 5 running backs taken. Yeah, you want to take one of the best wide receivers. I get that. But that wasn't the case for us this time. The Bucs running defense is available.
Yeah, I think the Buccaneers is the way to go.
Famine. And now let's go to the kicker position.
Now we're forced. Obviously, you got to go for kicker position. Yep. There's no point in doing anything too early.
And I'm going to tell you right now, for the kicker position, the way that I've done my drafts, it's always been Gay. Every single time it's my pick, he's available.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
Yeah, okay. I had a feeling. But it's always been Gay. Every single time, nobody wants to draft Gay. And guess what, guys? Let's see if it happens again. I could be wrong. It happened, and guess what?
I like indoor kickers that kick predominantly their home games indoors. They then deal with the nonsense. And I always like the kickers from Denver. That thin air in the Mile House Stadium, you can kick those 60, 70 yards. And we both know most leagues is set up on there. Well, you said you go Gay. You said the Gay's the way you go.
There is no other way. And he's been available every single time for me this year. So he's going to be the number 1 kicker this year.
All right, Florida Man football, that's what Chris says. He says go Gay.
And we've got our consensus. So, Johnny Cinco, now that we're done here, the draft, the ticker's over, we can kind of relax a little bit.
Okay.
And let's look at this team, man. Florida Man football, streaming on all major platforms.
What did they grade us on this?
Well, let's talk about that. Number one, I don't care what they graded us, because we know that ESPN grades is not the make or break. I'd take a C, to be honest with you. But let's look at this.
I know you take a C.
Gibbs, Irving, and Hubbard. Amazing. Metcalf, boom or bust wide receiver. I'll take it. Waddle, playing on a contract year. I'll take it. I'm telling you, the Chicago offense is going to be your listen to your boy.
Avoidances is going to have a good season.
Yep. I didn't even say his name because I couldn't pronounce it.
I know. I figure he's going to
talk about boom or bust.
Pittman,
Michael Pittman.
I mean, I don't.
Diggs. Have you seen the tape? And this. Have you seen how the tape has gone?
As long as he stays off the yayo, we'll be just fine.
Bigsby, talk about running back depth. If what we think is true, what we've seen in camp and all that, is that just like what happened with Bucky Irving, he's going to be the next man up. And if that's the case, great flex option, right? And then we still dig deep here, right? Look at the quarterbacks. You got Love and McCarthy. How can you argue with that? 10th round. How can you argue with that?
McCarthy can really be a complete boom. Or you can go ahead and be like, all right, he's lackluster. He's not doing it. You obviously have Jordan Love to go ahead and plug in based on matchups, certain things. But I'm telling you, JJ, I think is going to have a really good year. We've had multiple seasons, back-to-back seasons where rookies have blown up.
A lot of credit to the coach because I love him. Love is a strong word. I love this guy. And then, of course, at tight end, we've got Henry. We've got Strange. For me, Johnny, I feel like we got the yin and the yang. We've got Henry, who we know what McDaniels can do on offense for the Patriots. We know that at the end of the day, the checkdowns for Drake May is a sure thing.
Yeah.
And then with Strange, we want a little bit of Strange. What happened last year, right? Pun intended. Maybe this year he capitalizes on that, and he has a consistent season. And then we put a bow on this, Johnny. Patriots defense, Bucks defense. How did that work out at Florida Man football somehow? How did that work out?
Everything kind of worked out. It's just very interesting how things work out here. But, I mean, maybe you won't be as lucky, but you have to be able to adjust on the fly.
Right.
But you have to just, for the love of God, just relax on the drafting a quarterback too early. Just go ahead. Obviously, we started up with 3 straight running backs. That wasn't the initial plan for us. We wanted to go ahead and try to go ahead and get running back. And we weren't sure at the 8th position we were going to be able to do that. It worked out for us. We make an adjustment. But obviously the priorities in the running back position, wide receivers, it's not that it's not a priority. There's just so much depth in that position. Relax. It's okay. Stop focusing on specifically the names. It's not necessary. A couple guys that we saw here that we didn't really pick up here, some sleepers here in general, Chris, because there's so much value here. We're like, okay, well, the sleepers maybe I'll pick up later on. We'll figure things out here. But a couple sleepers I have, Chris, I don't know if you have any listed here, but a couple sleepers I'm really interested in, really that you guys should really think about here. For number one for me is Efton Chisholm. Efton Chisholm here is a undrafted, guy that they drafted, the New England Patriots out of Eastern Washington. You know who else played for Eastern Washington, Chris? Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's played for Eastern Washington, was the number one guy, had every record there, blew up here, and this kid destroyed every single one of those records that Cooper Kupp had. And this guy's looked like an animal. Whenever he had the opportunity in practice, in preseason, to go and show up, he's shown up here. So Chisholm, if you're going to go ahead and if you like everything set up there, maybe not pick up an extra defense, or maybe not pick up whatever, if you want to gamble a little bit, or if you happen to lose in that first week there, waiver wire pickup here, really consider Chisholm. He's going to probably go undrafted by most guys here, but I think he's going to do really well this season. Second, Jaden Blue, running back out of Texas. He's going to eventually, I think, for the Dallas Cowboys, be their starting running back here. He has a potential. He looks really good. Those are just sleepers there that maybe you're not going to have a direct impact right away, but by the end of the season, you're going to know who they are.
So I won't say sleepers because you kind of know these names already, but when you look at Seattle, right, you got a new quarterback situation there. You also know the fact that they traded away to Pittsburgh their wide receiver 1. So you've got Jackson Smith-Njigba. I love to mess up names, right?
Okay.
Somebody to look out for when he's being drafted. Like, in other words, you're not going to draft him in the first 3-4 rounds, but if he's available in the later rounds, look at him as an option at the wide. That's that depth, Johnny, that I was talking about earlier. And the list goes on. There's other players that I have there. Like we talked about DK Metcalf. We were able to draft him in this draft. If he's available in the lower rounds, please, by all means, go ahead and get him.
Yes.
Right? Waddle's another one. But let's look at the running back depth a little bit, too, when you're talking about, again, not sleepers. I love the fact that you touched up on sleepers. For me, it's people that are available in later rounds, right? Warren, the Pittsburgh Steelers running back. Russell it's his first year in Pittsburgh, right? So, therefore, keep an eye on Warren. See what happens. He's the running back 1 now, right? So keep him available as an option because he's being drafted in the later rounds. The Tennessee, we've got the rookie quarterback in Ward.
I'm not crazy about Ward. I know a lot of people are. I don't know if you are or not.
No. What I'm saying is, who's the running back? Who's the RB1 in Tennessee? Right? This is year 2 of him now. He came from Dallas. This is year 2 for him that he's going to be available. So he's going to be available in the later rounds. Think about him is what I'm saying to draft him. Any
breakout players you think are going to come up and actually do some damage that people didn't really do much damage last year? I mean, you got to give you a minute to think about it. For me, Caleb Williams I think is really going to have a breakout year fantasy-wise. Whether the team wins or loses, I don't know. I think that he's going to make an adjustment. He's going to be a tremendous value pick for you here. Drake May, like I mentioned before, I think he's really going to go ahead and blow up. He was a top 12 last year, I referenced to you, and he's going to actually do some damage this year. And also, if he's just outside that quarterback position, Coleman for the Washington Bills, the wide receiver out of FSU, who was he got a little injured towards the end of the year for Buffalo there, but this kid has shown what he can do. Amari Cooper's gone from Buffalo. I think this kid is going to go ahead and end up being the number one option for Josh Allen. So Josh Allen is going to go ahead and get his points. There's a reason why he's considered the number one quarterback fantasy-wise. Potentially, it's definitely in the top three. But I think Coleman out of FSU, second year under that offense, I think he's going to do some damage fantasy-wise. Those are the guys that didn't do great last year fantasy-wise, but I think this year they really are going to do some damage, definitely be in the top 10.
As we put a bow on this one, and I apologize, it was Tony Pollard for the Tennessee Titans. I was talking about that he's getting drafted in later rounds and he's an RB1. But to answer your question, Johnny Cinco,
Pollard and Spears, you got the two.
And I think, again, being drafted so late, I think it's a good option for you if he's available. But honestly, the person that sticks out to me when I think about Breakout and I think about where he's being drafted is Hubbard. I think that you called it last year because you drafted him,
yes,
where he had a good season. He didn't have a breakout season. He had a good season. So now you have no. It was. He was.
I think it was a breakout season for him because
it was.
I drafted him in the room. The room laughed at me.
You know how you know it wasn't
a
a breakout season, Johnny? Because he's not being drafted in the first 2 rounds. He's averaging right now 3 to 4 rounds. I've drafted him in many drafts. This time we got him, I think, in the 3rd round, right? In other drafts, I've had him in the 4th round. So for me, that's not breakout. Breakout, you get picked in the 1st, 2nd round. Hell, Genty's being picked in the 1st round, and he's a nobody right now except being a high draft pick in the NFL. So again, for me, Johnny, a breakout, somebody that's going to have a great season, it's going to be a value pick, it's going to be Hubbard, because I feel like the Panthers are going to have a better season this year than a lot of people expect. I expect a better year from the coach and I expect better from the quarterback. So for me, I think Hubbard, if you can get him in the 4th, 3rd round like we just did now, he's going to be a breakout guy to look out for. And that next year, you're going to see him being drafted in the 1st round. That's how high I am on this kid this year.
Well, a couple of reasons why, more than a few reasons, but a couple of reasons why you need to listen to Florida Man Football, especially when we're talking about fantasy, is that last season I picked up Hubbard, I drafted him. Now, most of the draft room that was there kind of laughed at it or were aware of it. Remember, Carolina went ahead and drafted with their 1st round pick, Jonathan Brooks. And they're like, I'm like, this kid is injury prone. He's not, don't worry about it. Hubbard's going to have a breakout year. So I think Hubbard's breakout year happened. And yes, because of the fact that some people, because Carolina, they had such a horrendous year, they're still like, okay, Hubbard, and it's still not, they're focusing on the big names, the big franchises, and they forgot about Hubbard.
I'll give you an example, not because, again, we're agreeing across the board and everything, but I'll give you where I think you're wrong on this. You know who had a breakout last year? And it was his 1st year? Bucky Irving. That's why he's being drafted so high. Because he had a breakout season last year. Everybody expects him this year. I feel like Hubbard had more rushing yards. I'm giving you the thing that you never give me, which is your roses. You were right in drafting him last year. There's nothing, I agree with you completely on what you did there, right? But at the end of the day, he's not being drafted high enough, which means that he has the potential to break out. And so for us, let me put it in perspective. We drafted him as our 3rd running back, right?
Okay.
He has the potential of being the 1st running back.
Agreed.
And that, to me, makes you a breakout. So if you can get him in the 3rd or 4th round.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking
that doesn't
about.
Okay, Hubbard, nobody even knew who he was last year.
We already gave you your flowers. See, now you're asking for more flowers.
What I'm saying is that, like,
put a bow on it. We already gave you your flowers.
I'm disagreeing with your definition of breakout, because nobody knew who he was, and now he's getting drafted essentially in the 3rd round. And then in most draft rooms, he's going to draft him in the 2nd round. So, like, it's still happening there in place here. And so I disagree with that. Last year, I also referenced to you, like, I pleaded with you guys on this show, do not draft CMC. That CMC is going to, this injury is bigger than what it seems.
We're putting a ball.
Don't do it. I just want to make sure that you know that I'm right. So, like, how right we are here.
You were right
in Florida
that
Man
somebody
football.
was getting hurt before anybody knew.
Because you're.
Listen, man, we had a great show. You see what this is why you don't get flowers, because the moment you get flowers, you go off the deep end.
No, what I'm referencing here is like, we know what we're talking about here.
We do.
So at the end of the day, we're gonna have our issue. We're just disagreeing on what our definition of breakout is. So, like, with Hubbard being drafted 3rd round, it's like that is a breakout. It was unknown last year. It's on breakout. Bucky Irvin this year is going to have a better year than he did last year. So Bucky Irvin was a rookie out of Oregon that people expected some big things from him, and he produced well, sharing the load with White. He's going to have a better year this year, so we'll see him going from there. But at the end of the day, we hope you guys, please, I plead with you, if you are in your league, your name has to match the players with you. Do not call yourself the Mahomes and not have Patrick Mahomes.
Wait till you're drafted and come up with your name.
Yes, please.
Come on,
don't be
man.
that guy. Don't be that guy
Yeah.
that names your team Hawk Tua without Tua. It just doesn't work out. It's a mess here.
Like
so
you did last year.
please continue to support us. Like, share, and subscribe. Do what you got to do here. Hopefully this helps you guys in your fantasy league. I hope it doesn't help the guys in our league too much here, but it's going to be fun, and I expect to be champion again. You were champion in what, couple of years?
Last year.
17?
I'm last year's returning champion.
You're not last year's returning
Folks,
champion.
if you're watching Florida Man
before.
football, continue to watch. Take the insights. Great feedback. And I'm telling you, if you draft strong running back, wide receiver like me, I'll see you in the playoffs. Let's go.
See you guys.